So, hello everyone. Welcome to my very thoughtful world. Guys, I am so excited tonight. As you all know, I work super hard to bring you positive, powerful women who are in the business of making their dreams come true. And so today I'm excited to talk to Jassmin and Lulu, who have a dance studio. So, Jassmin, Lulu, tell everyone who you are and tell us about your business.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Kanisha, first, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to just be here. Um, so, we are co owners of Studio 252, which is a Black owned, woman owned dance studio here in Rocky Mount. And we really pride ourselves on being those two things, on being Black women who are also business owners. So, this is a beautiful collision of worlds right here that we're having.
Love
Um, and so, we have three kind of major programs that we specialize and focus in, which are dance, cheer, and majorette. And so, we do ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, acro, and then cheer and majorette. I think I covered everything. I try to go through them really fast.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Lulu, feel free to chime in. You don't have to stay on mute or wait your turn. Again, like we're just going to talk about it because I want more women to know that they can do this. And I love that you said that we are like unapologetically female and African American, and we're doing this business thing. So, how long have you guys been in business?
So, that's a funny story. I think that together, what is it, 2 years, Jazz?
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in April.
Yes. Separately, Jassmin had a studio in Rocky Mount, North Carolina for 9 years, I believe it was.
Oh, girl, you are giving me a lot of credit. Yeah.
She had a studio by herself, separately from me. It was called Just Dance. And then I moved to North Carolina almost 5 years ago. I'm born and raised Cali girl, so I moved here. And I opened a dance studio on my own called Lulu Jones Dance Academy. And that was in 2021, I believe January 2021. And so we were separate. She had stopped the studio for a little bit and had moved and came back and was ready to start again. She saw my opening, that I was doing a grand opening, and she reached out to me. It was very positive and things like that. She was always pleasant. It didn't feel like competitive or sneaky or any of those things. And so I don't know, we were strangers. We had met. She had come to the grand opening and congratulated me. And we always say it's God because it was on my heart. It was on my heart and it was on her heart. And one day I was sitting in the studio and I had just been thinking about her a lot. And I reached out to her because it was just on my heart. Like, we should collaborate. I didn't even know her.
Like, legit, we were strangers, like just connected through Facebook. That was it.
Yeah, and it was on my heart. And I reached out to her. And I remember I called my mom beforehand. Like, no, you don't even know that lady, you know?
Right.
All this, why I shouldn't. And I was like, okay. And I hung up and I did it anyway. Dude, like sometimes God you just know, like he puts it like is what you're supposed to do. So reached out to her and she said that she had something on her heart as well. And then we were like, okay, we're going to do this.
Wow. I love it.
Her message to me literally said, hey, I want to talk to you about something. Like, when are you free to chat? And I responded, I said, I wonder if it's the same thing that I want to talk to you about. And
It was.
boom, here we are.
I love it. I love, you said so many things that I find so valuable. You said, first of all, Jazz, you went and you showed up to celebrate and congratulate this young woman for doing something that you were doing, but you understood the heart and all that it takes to show up, right? Two, Lulu, you recognize that this woman is coming to celebrate me. She's in the same business that I'm in, and I don't feel that energy of competition. And I want more women to recognize that when we collab and when we do things together, we go further. So tell me about, like, what were the difference between your two dance studios prior and what did you all bring together because you all decided to collab?
So actually me and Jazz are very different. And we realized but actually it works, and other people have recognized that it works as well. because we're so different. So I would say just our styles are very different. In a lot of things. Jazz is very upbeat, positive, bubbly, planned, organized, calculated. She's all those wonderful things.
Yeah.
And then I would say I'm more just like the willy-nilly, with the go with the flow, not so bubbly. Right. So honestly, those were, I would say, were the biggest differences. But as far as what we wanted our studios to become, what we wanted them to be founded in and strong in, what we wanted for the girls and gentlemen that come, the success, the opportunities, the college education, all of those things were foundationally important to each of us. And we found that our differences actually really work together and balance, because in areas where I lack, like organization, like those things, I just don't, it's just, I'm just like, oh, whatever. And Jazz, had I have not met Jazz, I think that if I had not come with her, I wouldn't be this far along, because she's able to ground me and say like, well, no, we need to do this way and this way and that way. So it worked out really well. And I would say, yeah, our differences work because our principles, our mission is the same.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. Jazz, you
Like both. Yeah. So like, I think there's this beautiful space of like, me and Lulu both have our lanes and like our zones of genius, and we recognize that in each other. So like, I know, yes, we both dance, but I think there's even like different levels of like how we look at dance and how we interpret dance and how we plan. So like, anything that has to do with the artistic direction of the studio, I yield to Lulu. Like that is 100%. That's my girl. Show planning, like concepts, themes, designs, like all of that. That is 100% her. Now, how we get there, the costume ordering, the budget for it, this is that, like that's my lane. And like she yields to me in that. And so I think there also comes this respect of, yes, we're two women who operate in the same space and we're in business together and we're partners, but like even respecting each other's, I'm just going to call it like the zone of genius, like where we thrive within our own business. Like, yeah, girl, you got it. I'm gonna yield to you. and we thrive that way.
That's so brilliant. And you guys have hit on something that I'm often trying to work with my clients to understand. You said that the reason this work is because you share the same values. And a lot of times with business owners, they don't understand how important knowing what their values are will help them lead and guide their business. So
Yeah.
talk about that. Talk about how you individually establish your values, took that into your business first, and then collectively could talk about that without any hesitation.
Yeah. Lulu, you want to pop in first?
I would say that right off the bat, I think that we both recognized community was a big thing for us, and the bettering of it. When it came to in several aspects. Number one is with our young girls that we are teaching dance. We recognized that it was beyond dance. And we wanted it to be, because we wanted it to be about character building and responsibility and discipline and teamwork and just all of those things that through our separate experiences and our journeys through dance, we wanted to be able to instill those things in the girls. So that was one thing. I think both of us also as business owners, that's another aspect that is important to us in how we run the business. We wanted something that was respectable, honestly, that is calculated carefully, that runs smoothly. We wanted all of those things as a demonstration as well of how Black businesses can be, and what other people can also create should they want to open a Black business. I'm just going to say this just because this is there is sometimes a stigma on Black businesses.
Yeah,
There
Yeah.
is.
I
Like, there,
agree.
don't feel like it. There is. A
Yeah,
lot of times it's either, well, you know, something is always half done, or there's always a negative side to a Black business, a lot. Especially within, like, oh, it's, they do things ghettoly or whatever they say. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I know that neither of us wanted that, um, because I think that also instills a value in the community. Like,
yeah.
this is a Black owned business and they run it well, and they have
Mhm.
Hmm.
and run it well, and it's important how we look and things like that. So I think that we both found those values important. And then Jazz being college educated and continuing her education and having those experiences, I put that at the forefront for her as something that's important. And then me going a different route and my experiences and not following that path when I should have, made it important to me because I'm able to look back and say I should have done things this way. So I think those values we both recognized very early were important.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
then as far as like what has influenced those values, like Lulu just hit on our life experiences, one, but then two is also our faith,
Yeah.
right? Like we serve a God, an excellent God, and so we want to make sure that we are reflections of Him, and that we serve and that we do in excellence. And so all of that just kind of points back to like the community, the showing our kids what's possible beyond Rocky Mount. Like, don't forget about Rocky Mount because this is home, and we
Mhm.
want to make sure that we give back to our home. But like, there is more than there's more to life than what's here and what's in front of you. And so um, making sure that our community sees us in a positive light, like she said, and then making sure that our kids know that there is a life beyond what you see here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so amazing. Just hearing you all talk, share that kind of connection. What are some of the obstacles? Because one of the things about being a female entrepreneur, it's challenging, it's very rewarding. And my hope is, as I said earlier, is my goal is to inspire other women to say yes to their dreams, to wake up to who they really are, but to understand that this is not a fairy tale, right? Like,
Right, right.
I'm really big on Cinderella is not is not real. So talk
Hmm.
about that. Talk about the obstacles of having owning a business and having a brick and mortar, because I'm an online business.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. So one, we could not even business side, but just being women. So not only are women, like we're mothers,
Yeah.
right? And so then you add in a whole nother dynamic of having family on top of like that in itself is a challenge. And I can't say yet that I have. I feel like I am navigating, but I have not unlocked the key that shows the perfect balance between motherhood and business owner, and Jassmin the wife, and Jassmin the school teacher, because I do still work a full 9 to 5. Like, we both still work full-time jobs. So then you have entrepreneurship on top of full-time, on top of mom, on top of all these other things. So I think for me, that's the biggest challenge is finding that balance and keeping Jassmin at the center of all of that, and
Mhm.
not losing who Jassmin is, because Jassmin is different from mom. Jassmin is different from wife. Jassmin is different from co-owner of Studio 252. And so not losing myself in the midst of all the other things that I have to do. Um, that just in entrepreneurship in itself is tough. Then you throw in having a brick and mortar business
Yeah.
where you've got overhead that you've got to meet, and you've got to make sure that the dollars and the cents align, and that Uncle Sam gets his money. And that too is a challenge, is because we're told to like chase your dreams and go do the things and step out on faith and do the things. And it's like, yes, and because it's not a yes, but it's a yes, and you've got to make sure that you have all these things in line so that you can chase your dream in excellence.
Yes.
Because what we don't want is that while you're chasing the dream, the IRS is chasing you. So you've got to know how to have your books in mind, so things like that. And so the challenge is finding the resources to make sure that you are able to chase your dream in excellence.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. Lulu, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, she hit the nail on the head. I would agree. I think what happens is, so, and I want to say this because I think it's an important, something that I've had to learn and still am learning, is that you feel when you have this dream that you're going to open this business and it's going to do great money and you are going to be on top, you know, and it's going to be over. You're done working for the man, you know, and you feel like it's going to go boom, 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 right?
Yes.
But that's how it goes. And so I've seen, even with, I think, students and stuff, and I really try to remind them, they think, you know, our businesses, I always say our business is successful because it is, because most businesses fail within the first year, and we did not. And we've continuously kept our doors open. We've continuously been able to meet all of our needs, right? Thank God. And I think a lot of people look at that on the outside and they think, oh, well, they got it all together and they are business. And I know they got some money, you know. And again, for people, I think that is very discouraging for people who are starting something and they, you know, everybody looks at the outside and they think it's a beautiful picture, because I did the same.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that we are clear in that it is not that simple. It is a struggle. We are still mixing up new formulas all the time to win. And we are putting in prayers and prayers among prayers to win. Okay.
All the prayers.
Like she said, we still work. We both still have a full-time job. And then we come and we do another job because we have to. We put in a lot of time. Sometimes time that is just that. It's just free. We're putting in our time free because we have to. There are several bottom steps that you have to meet before you get to that other side where it's like, I've done it and it's, you know, booming and all of that. I just want to make sure that that's clear. And then, like she said, when you do add having a family, it is a different dynamic to everything, because you do still have to be a mom and you do still have a whole life and you still have to take your kids to school, all of these things. And so I just want to make sure that we put that out there in the forefront, that it's not easy. That, yes, I feel like everybody should chase their dreams, but to understand that it's going to be hard. There is struggle before.
Chasing requires running.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, build your endurance up, okay? Because you're going to be running.
Yes. But there have been times where me and Jassmin are like, literally, nothing, no words. We're just looking like.
Just looking at each other. Yes.
I get it. Yeah, I have a coach, and I went through, particularly last year, the latter part of last year, I think about every other month I was quitting. I was like, I quit.
Yeah.
We've said that many times. Myself, I've said it. I quit.
Yes.
Yep.
After about the second time I did it, she was like, okay, now that I know what your quit looked like. Because I won't give up. But there are just times I want to tap out. And two, what you talked about being the balance. One of the things that helped me in the early stages of my business, because my children are now adults. Yay. They were little when we started.
Just getting started over here.
Yeah. And I heard Lisa Nichols say this. She said, the ideal of balancing makes you think that you have to do equally for one to the other, right? She says, but if you get in the habit of recognizing that maybe it's not balancing, but give your full attention to the thing or the person you're with at the time, it's a game changer. And that really helped me, so that when my children were there or in the room, and if it was really their time, meaning it's Saturday, it can wait. The business can wait.
That's
so, you know, it's beautiful. It's now at 19 and 21. If I ask my children about, like, what do they like about me or what made me a good mom? Because they have their list of what made me a bad mom too. But I love that both of them says, Mom, you're such a good listener. And it was because I would pause the TV when they wanted to talk. I would turn away from things so they had my full attention. So I share that with you guys, being young in that season, to one, keep you encouraged, and to know there is no such thing as balance. And work-life does not exist. But you can decide that when you're in the work, you're giving that your full attention. And when you're home with those babies and the family and the husband, you're giving that your full attention at that moment. Now, it's still a challenge, right? Because my husband sometimes look at me like, really? Are you crafting an email? I know. I'm sorry.
Just give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm done.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to add to what you all were saying about how much it takes to run a business, and how out from the outside world, people think you're doing well because you have a business. Oh, she must be rich. Or no. TD Jakes said, when it comes to having a business, it's like a baby. He says, first you feed the baby for years, and then one day the baby can feed you.
Yes.
And so those little things like that really kept me going, kept me encouraged, reminded me, because I think it's important, like you all are saying, and I thank you all for being vulnerable enough to share the challenges of it, so that people won't have a fantasy about it. Again, I'm a big person on what I hear and quoting, but Steve Harvey, I love his quote when he says, the dream is free, but the hustle is necessary. Yeah.
And it's gonna cost you.
And it's gonna cost you. Yeah, the hustle is not included.
Okay. Sold separately. Hustle sold separately.
You have to pay for it. But talk about the rewards of working with these young, beautiful queens and helping them develop into who they're becoming because of your dance studio.
Honestly, I would say that is the part, how we said we have those times where we're like, we're going to tap out.
Yes.
But honestly, for me, and I'm sure for Jazz, that's the thing that keeps me in it, is because we develop such relationships with these girls beyond just being their dance instructors. And I always think like, but if I quit, if I gave up, then, like, where would they be? And then when you see growth, when you see changes, even in character, like certain things with students' characters or behaviors that they have, because we've had students that have behaviors and things like that. And when you see that they've tried to adjust because this and us, we mean so much to them, and they want to stay on the team, and they want to be able to come, and the family that is built within the studio, I would say that is what makes it rewarding and what makes us continue to come back.
Yes. It's when, so I have a kid that I used to taught. She dances in college now, so she goes to Fellow State, and she dances with the marching band. And she sent me some pictures at the end of her season, and she said from then until now, she said, I didn't give up. I stayed focused. I did what you said. She was like, I just thank you so much. And so it was moments like that, like when you get those messages that are like, thank you, coach. I appreciate you. Or like she said, like when you get the text that says, this girl was trying to fight me, but I walked away from her. Like that, like those are the successes that make the hustles being sold separately, that make it worth it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when you're in it, you don't realize, like, I'll speak for myself. I don't always realize like how much you're impacting.
Yeah, that's
you don't realize it when you're in it right there. But so like she said, when people come back to you and they say, like, I wouldn't have made it here if I wasn't for you pushing me and different things, that's big.
Yeah. How awesome. So this is the question I ask everyone who's on my podcast. What book are you reading, or what book changed your life when you think in terms of either business or just in life? Because I know the power of thoughts. And I always tell my clients, and if you can't come up with a good thought on your own, read somebody else's. So what are the books that has really impacted your life?
You want to go? You look really excited to answer this one.
I was thinking about the answer and how it's not going to probably be what she's expecting.
No expectations. I'm just like taking my list to know whether I should go and get that one next.
I like to read. A lot. But I'll say for me, especially at this time, the most impactful thing that I read regularly that has kept me in this and going and kept us afloat, I would say has been the Bible, to be honest, is reading the word. Um, because it helps you adjust your attitude. It helps you adjust your mindset. It helps you see. One thing I love about Jassmin is she always look at things um, and say and be able to reflect and say, where could I have done better? We even had a situation today and it was the same. She was like, yeah, but we could have done this different. And I think when you like take in the word every day, when you're praying on a regular, you're able to more easily adjust your attitude than if you did not have that. Because it's not about ego. And so I would say that that's it for me in this, and staying in business and trying to be a mentor and business owner and all those things. It's really the word helping me adjust my mind and my attitude and to say like, no, sometimes Lulu, you need to do this differently or you need to compromise. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So for me, first, thanks, Lulu. I love you. Um, so for me, Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes.
That was good. I read that.
That was a really good book for me, just about being comfortable in discomfort. And I feel like that's the season that I'm in, like the personal season that I'm in life, is being comfortable in discomfort. I'm currently reading. We actually both just bought a copy of The Power of Broke by Damon John, and so we're really looking into like starting that and seeing how to like navigate your business when you don't have a lot of money and how to leverage that mindset of like the power of broke to your advantage. So
I love that. I love that. And I love that title. I read a book called, and when I say read, I like to share it because it might be that listener who, or someone's watching who's like, I'm not good at reading or it takes me a long time to read. I'm that person. I'm a slow reader. So Audible is my friend. And so when I say I read the book, it means I listened to it. But one of the books I read,
audiobooks are life.
yes, they're everything that I just love. And I listened to it over and over again was The Illusion of Money. I promise you, if you have mindset blocks or issues about money and you think that money is the answer or the solution, get that book. He will help you rethink, rewire, challenge what you believe. And that, so when you talk about the power of broke, he talks about how creative you can be because you're broke. And because then you are kind of free from this notion of the money is the reason. So that's one of the books that I strongly encourage.
Good.
It's
And
when I tell
tell me
you,
that
it's called The Illusion of Money.
one.
I think the guy, I always forget his name. I think it's like Kyle. I'll make sure I text it to you guys tonight.
Okay, thank
But
you.
so that was it. So let me ask before we leave, I want to make sure I add your website and everything to the podcast. Is there anything you guys have coming up or any special you all want to share about the people, particularly in the area, because we're right here, Rocky Mount, so that people might want to know about?
I will say the biggest thing that I want to share for the community of Rocky Mount and the studio is to say, really, I want to say bring your babies. Because no, but this is the reason.
Not really.
Because we really have a family. We all become family. The students, us with our students, staff, we are all a family. We are a support system, an extra support system, an extra village, and also because we've made it to a place where we wanted everybody to be able to come to our studio. We wanted them to be able to learn. We want them to have opportunities. And so we've made it even affordable so that everybody can come, because we didn't want anybody to not be able to come because they couldn't afford it or their circumstances.
Right.
So I just want to say, yeah, bring your children. bring them. They're going to love it. We're going to love them. We're
Yes.
with each other. We have made it so where it's affordable for everyone to come. They're going to get to perform. We try to strive to give them extra opportunities. One thing that we're going to be doing is we're having students that we're selecting to audition for the Joffrey Ballet. It's in New York. It's a New York based dance company, but every year they have summer intensives that the children have to audition for and be picked for. So we're sending some to audition for that. We have some others we'd like to audition for the Alvin Ailey Summer Intensive. Uh, and
Yes.
other too, like our majorette girls, they got to perform with Fayetteville State University with the band and the other majorettes. And it was an amazing experience for them. We have our competition season coming up where we'll be traveling and doing different competitions.
Hmm.
They'll have the opportunity to perform. And then we also have our end of year concert that we do every June. And so our students get to perform for their families and other people that come to the show at the end of the season as well. So a lot of exciting things that we want to give your children. And
Hmm.
we've made it affordable to do so. We are here to help. We
Yeah.
fundraise, all of those things. So bring your babies because they deserve it.
Registration is open, y'all.
Yes. Wonderful. So listen, you guys have heard right here in Rocky Mount Studio 252. We want you guys to get the kids involved. Children who get involved at a young age in that type of like environment of teamwork, and it builds confidence. And you guys know, as a coach, I am always talking about confidence and self-esteem and getting rid of the negative self-talk. So if you really want your children to learn how to practice those kind of things, put them in dance class, put them in a place where maybe for a little while they feel uncomfortable. Don't take them out because they're uncomfortable. Help them to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I want to say thank you, ladies, so much for joining me tonight. This has meant the world to me.
Yes.
Thank,
Thank you all.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you guys for watching. If you would, please like and subscribe to the podcast. Let everyone know about Very Thoughtful. And listen, ladies, if you are in the area or if you're willing to travel, March 1st through the 3rd, I'm offering a retreat right here in Gaston Lake, North Carolina for female entrepreneurs. I can't wait to see you there. I know you're going to be there. Have a wonderful, blessed night. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.